She's conservative and I'm liberal. And yet we've been friends for almost 40 years. Everyone says you shouldn't discuss politics, religion, or money. And we say that's exactly what friends should be talking about. Join us as we tackle the conversations you're having in your head, but you're too scared to say out loud. Welcome to We've Got to Talk. Welcome, my sweet friend Jolene. It's the two of us today.
I know. We've had so many interviews
Yes, we
that
have.
I feel like I am like there's somebody else that I'm introducing.
I know.
But it's not.
It's us.
It's us.
It's us.
It's just us.
It's
the way it started.
Yes, exactly. What are we calling this, Jolene?
I'm calling it the 1776 Anti-Weaponization Fund. It's really $1.776 billion anti-weaponization fund. Mm-hmm. And it's not good, friends.
Friends, and listen, friends, I'm just going to out myself. This is Wednesday, June 3rd, which is this one's birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
He's a fellow Gemini. I'm just going to go with that. I'm going to go with that.
Oh, wow. I didn't even think you two are the same sign.
We are the same sign, and I think that might be all we have in common. But we're going to talk about this 1776 slush fund, anti-weaponization fund, and the Trump, I'm going to call it, Jolene, the Trump tax shenanigans, because I don't know what else to call it. Listen,
I know.
Do you want to start? You want to start with this 3 takeaways for you?
Republicans naturally have a distrust of government and governmental agencies, and so I can see why this has some merits to saying, okay, if the government has used your, whether it was January 6th or you were a victim of the IRS, or even look at it from a Democrat's perspective, you were the victim of maybe somebody didn't like your climate change perspective, and so they came after you and weaponized your political views against you. This is a fund that has been developed so that individually you don't have to sue the government. Like, they have a fund that is available for you to be compensated for if you've been wrongly accused of something. Here's the problem with that. There's no safeguards. There's no guardrails. Number one, the executive branch cannot just say, oh, I'm going to have a $1.776 billion fund available for these people who feel like they've been wronged. From a financial perspective, that's got to come from Congress. So this is a bogus thing to even have Trump talk about. But the other part of that is that isn't this just typical Trump? This is what he does. He puts something out that's so outrageous and so you're like, what? So then he can dial it back, and then whatever he settles on is then not as outrageous as you initially thought. So his whole point in doing this was he was doing this as a favor to the American taxpayer because he is no longer suing the government for leaking his tax returns for $10 billion. And he said, I will settle. Here's my offer. Let's have this $1 billion, almost $2 billion fund that helps everybody who has been wronged by the government, not just me. He's a giver.
During the Biden administration.
Yeah, right.
Right. Okay, number 1, how is any of this possible? Why aren't we all, Democrats, Republicans, liberals, conservatives, why aren't we all in the streets protesting this? I know you love the protests. This $1.776 billion fund is our money, and we have no idea what he will do with it and how we will have no control over it. Number 2, excusing Trump and his family businesses and anyone involved for investing any of his tax dealings before May 19th. His family, he has traded 3,700 stocks alone in the first 3 months of this year. Oh my God, here's the deal. I think this is so effing crazy that I can't even get the words out because I cannot believe this is happening. Okay, wait,
but you can't trade, can you? Like, somebody's doing it on his behalf, right?
Of course. Like, his family dealings, his holdings, they have traded 3,700 stocks in the first 3 months of this year, totaling $750 million, not including the $1 billion of crypto his family has already earned since the beginning of this year. It is also stated that with this tax, exemption, that his family will save $100 million. And it's Todd Blanche, his personal attorney, that is now the AG, is in charge of this fund. He's in charge of this tax letter that he's written. Where's the independence? Where's the accountability? I just can't believe that this is happening. Okay, number 3. In terms of the slush fund and rewarding the insurrectionists after they've already been pardoned, and this might be a little conspiracy theory, Jolene. You've pushed.
I love it.
You've pushed
I'm
me.
here
You've
for
pushed
it.
me here. I'm wondering, is he creating a private militia that doesn't go away, so that when he has, like the midterms might not go his way, or the election of 2028 doesn't go his way, that he can just sick his private army that he has pardoned, that he has given a bunch of money to, and they will do his bidding.
Ooh, that's a dark one there.
That's a dark one. So here's my final. This is like, that was number 3, but this is what I want to say. I am seriously confused. Every poll that I have been reading says that Trump right now is deeply unpopular. Yet, he has primaried his Republican enemies out. And I would even say that these were some really good Republicans. And they're now out. He started a war in Iran. It's not done. Our groceries are too high. Our gas is too high. I don't understand what's happening. Can you please explain? Please explain?
So, all right, I've made some notes.
And tell me, like, are there things we can agree on here? Because
that this is nuts. Yes, we've got to agree on that.
Okay.
Yes, 100%. And half of the Republican senators would agree with us as well.
Would you
So,
say
and
half?
we'll
Because
get into that.
I knew like Thune is somebody.
This was from
Susan
Ted
Collins.
Cruz's
Yes.
Ted Cruz's podcast, where he said half of the GOP senators are going no mas.
Yeah.
So,
And I am also hearing like White House aides are sort of like, stop, roll this back.
Whoa,
All right.
whoa. And no one was, according to a Wall Street Journal report, no one outside of his inner circle even knew this was coming. Nobody in Congress, nobody of his staff even knew this was coming until a day or two before he announced it. So that he and Todd Blanche, the acting attorney general, kind of conspired to put this together. Or maybe someone handed it, your buddy, Stephen Miller, that you hate so bad?
Yeah.
That maybe Stephen Miller wrote this down, gave it to Todd Blanche, and said, "Here, buddy, here's your first big initiative." I don't know. Okay, the other thing I would say though about him and the primaries, which is just is so infuriating.
Is it to you?
For me,
Is it to
having
you?
yes, him having influence over those primaries. But the thing that we keep hearing, and we heard it from our friend Stacy when we interviewed her, that in Texas, and she said it would be between 5% and 8%, and sure enough, 8% of the people voted in that primary. 8% of registered Republicans voted in that primary. And so you're right. Guess what you got?
That's
you
right.
got the people that were out there trying to make a stand and take a stand, and it wasn't the average person, and which is so sad. Again, as Americans, we need to take our right to vote seriously, because this is what happens.
In terms of that, I know we got to go back to the actual topic, but one thing I think is a problem with the media and how they report it. Like they're reporting, he primaried out all these Republicans and he's brought in people that are loyal to him. Like, you had to look to see that 8% of the entire Republican electorate voted, where a lot of media doesn't even say that. Because if you actually highlighted, oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is crazy that we don't take our vote seriously, that we are I mean, I guess we're just burned out. I don't really understand why, like, voting is inconvenient. I don't really get it that we decide, the primary or the runoff. Like,
Right.
That's actually where it matters. You have the most control over who possibly is going to speak for you in your country.
Yep.
Right?
Totally. And, we've seen this in the different interviews that we've done and all that. But yeah, that's the bottom line. That's where your vote matters. And like Stacey said, like your vote matters 5 times more than a national, like a presidential race, because
election.
in a general election.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So
okay.
Anyway, so on Friday, then a federal judge has put this whole crap
on pause.
On a pause, so that, because I think there was some, and again, I'm not a legal person, so I can't tell you all the ins and outs of, from a legal perspective, how this all played out, but there was Trump had to either move forward or had to.
Are we talking about with his lawsuit against the government?
With the lawsuit, yeah, that it was coming. Like there was a question as to whether he could be both kind of a plaintiff and defendant. I mean, being both the president of the United States suing the IRS, a governmental agency, and so they had to come to some sort of agreement. So he came up with this as the negotiations and said, "Okay, I'll drop the lawsuit if you do this Anti-Weaponization Fund." The whole thing just stinks.
Well, also, talking to Josh about it, because I was trying to understand. I don't understand any of this. And one thing, he actually didn't say this, but I was thinking about it myself, that having done this podcast and learning about Trump and his behavior, he always drops cases he knows he cannot win. He always drops cases he knows he can't win. So here's a situation. It's getting closer. He knows he can't win. So he's like, bait and switch. Let's do this other thing. And so they put a pause on it, and they're going to have a hearing June 12th to talk about, is there a there? And a lot of both, it's a bipartisan ask. A lot of people are asking this judge to reopen the case.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're like, this is, as you just said, stinky. Like, this does not sit right. This is not okay. And they're putting a pause on the Anti-Weaponization Fund because way too many people are coming out saying, what are you doing? And honestly, Jolene, and this bleeds into the 250th, and we're doing our own episode about that. I also struggle with this kind of in everything that Trump does. I know that's a blanket statement, but everything's so cheesy. I'm just like, it's really the 1776 like, can you just make it 1.8 or whatever it is? It just, everything is a thing. Like, he wants to do his $250 bill with his face on it, and he's not dead, so he can't do it. What I'm sensing from you, and maybe I just want us to get along on this, but it feels like we might be on the same page here, that there's an exhaustion here that we're both on the left and the right feeling about now.
Well, and I think that we've seen that in the reporting from either the Wall Street Journal or this podcast that Ted Cruz, and I didn't listen to it, I just read this transcript of it. But the GOP Senate is going, you're screwing us here, dude. His quote was, "This could derail a $70 billion multi-year immigration enforcement bill that the Republicans in the Senate are trying to get passed." And for him to just all of a sudden lay this out, they're going, you've absolutely, you've just thrown a cog into this wheel that is like, okay, you're screwing us here. So any negotiation that they were trying to work, okay, let's work together with the Democrats. Let's try to get this immigration bill passed. Now they have to start either defending this or rectifying it or amending it, or, I mean, like, they're just like, why did you do this? Why now? And why just throw this out there? Which then makes me think there is absolutely no communication happening between Thune and the White House, or I mean, that there's like the White House, and when I even say White House, I'm saying there are a few people that are dictating
you said
what's
it.
going on. Yeah.
I want to go back to the tax thing. I mean, there's so much to talk about in a way, and I also feel so jumbled in my thoughts. What are your feelings about the idea that his family, he and his family, would be exempt from any tax investigation?
Okay. Of course, that's what he's going to do. I mean, like, does it surprise me? Oh, heck no.
Right.
But does it feel right? Oh, heck no.
Right.
I mean, like it's like
that's
okay,
not
well,
a conservative or liberal thing. That is
Right.
like, hey, if we're all getting taxed, if we're all U.S. citizens of the United States, shouldn't we all be treated the same?
I also come with a little bit of a bias because I have a friend, we've been friends for 30 years, and she worked for the Trump organization, and I can't even remember what she did, but I remember her saying at the time, oh my gosh, and she was this sweet girl from New Mexico, and she goes, oh my gosh, this corporation's so corrupt, and she goes, and maybe this is like just a New York thing, but oh, wow, like there's stuff going on that is just really corrupt. Now, that was one person's opinion 30 years ago. So for him to say, you can't sue me, my family, my businesses, anything prior to May 23rd of 2026 or whatever the date was, you're going, no, like you can't just be exempt. You can't just say, oh, I'm exempt from that. It doesn't.
Well, and it was just a letter that Todd Blanche wrote. Like, no one signed it. It was just like, this is the deal. And everyone's going, what? It just feels like, how is anything in government working at all? Because between the Iran war that's not done, not even close to done, I don't know if they're called merchant marines, the sailors that are stuck in Hormuz that are now starving.
Oh my God. Right.
They haven't had water for days. I'm like,
or electricity.
I'm like, okay, y'all, what? And then there are mines in Hormuz that they don't know where they are. And so the fact that he's like moving on, like, oh, don't worry about the gas prices. Don't worry about the groceries. And we're like, okay, we haven't made $1 billion in crypto since January, so I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat. Most of us are feeling what's going on. My point, Jolene, which is not really being very clear, is that we both have been reading that the GOP Senate is furious because they're trying to get this immigration bill passed. They're actually trying to do the work of the government. Like, it's boring. It's not sexy. Maybe it's not even that interesting to some people. I don't know. They're trying to actually get some work done. And he keeps throwing these firebombs. Like, let's start a war. Gas prices go up. Let's do this anti-immigration or this anti-weaponization fund. And they're like, we're trying to do the work.
I will say, I don't think, when you start lumping all these things together, I don't think that's fair because they really are individual things. And so was the war in Iran, were we trying to prevent them from having a nuke? Like, that's an issue. Was that important? And if he comes out of this and Iran doesn't have a nuclear weapon or the capability to develop a nuclear weapon, and we do get gas prices back down and, all the things that he says he's going to do. And if it does happen, then, okay, then do we say that's a win or it was a crappy 3 months? We don't know. So, yes, trying to, I think, isolate each one of these issues. I think the fact is people are just fed up with Trump. And I speak for you. I think I'm speaking for me probably too. I mean, I think people are just... We're fed up. And so my wonderful daughter and son-in-law were here this weekend, and he's a big Republican, but he was a Trump supporter and not so much anymore. And even he said, he was like, this isn't what we signed up for.
Right.
And so, I think that's to where we all, and at this point, then we're all looking at, so who do you like for 2028? I mean, we're at, June 3rd of 2026, and we're going, we got 2 more years to go.
2 more years of this. All right. Let me say, in the spirit of we've got to talk, that I want to apologize to you, Jolene, and apologize to our listeners and viewers that I lumped everything in. I do. I really do understand.
You don't have to apologize.
But here's
I
the
don't
thing.
think you have to apologize.
But I
All
do
right, go ahead.
think that, what I just did, I think we are all guilty of doing. I don't think you have to be a liberal to do it or a conservative. We all tend to get upset and then lump everything that's upsetting us in one thing and then blame said party. And I know that they're all separate things. I know that the Iran war is one thing. I also don't know if the Supreme Leader's alive. And I don't think the Iranian people are, I think they're worse off. That's my opinion. We can have another episode about that. But I think where we do have a president that tends to like to muzzle velocity, like throw a bunch of things, and get us all distracted. And I think all of us are pretty whiplashed at this point. It doesn't matter whether you dug him or didn't dig him, right? And so I would say that when we do lump things together, I think it comes out of being tired.
Okay, so I think that's really interesting because here, if you take this issue, let's just take this anti-weaponization $1.776 billion fund. If you get down into it, you would say, okay, Republicans have this natural, okay, I said Republicans at the top of the program.
Yeah.
I think it's Democrats too. Like Democrats now with Trump in office have a natural distrust of governmental agencies.
I would agree
right?
with you because we at this point will not have aired our interview with Stephen Hawkins, but we have an amazing interview coming up, and he authored the Beyond MAGA episode that we aired in March, and he's awesome. But he talked about in his research that most of us are distrusting government now. This isn't a left or right. And certainly he also said the younger population, that Gen Z, 18 to 24, whatever the number is, but the younger generation is like, we don't trust anything.
So I could see this idea come about from, okay, there has to be a way to compensate people or to reward people from being wronged if the government has unfairly targeted them for something when the opposite party was in power. So in Trump's case, it was his his tax returns were leaked by a contractor for the IRS. And so he's like, oh, I'm going to get retribution. So when he gets into office, he does something. I can see if the Democrats get into office, then they're going to go, oh, remember that slush fund that Trump developed? We're going to have this trust fund for anybody who was unfairly treated because they were a pro-choice advocate. And so they were, I feel like we're setting a precedence here, right?
For sure.
What could happen in the future. And is this the point that we've become? Like, we're so distrusting of government that now this has developed into a thing?
He wants this 5-person panel that he basically controls to decide who gets the money, how much money they get, and the American people don't get to know. And I would say, like, one of the things that I'm really frustrated with the Democratic Party, I'm incredibly frustrated with where it's going. And I'm saying this to you because I'd like to stay in this party, but I'm not feeling very confident because I don't think fighting fire with fire works. I'm exhausted. I know a lot of my people are exhausted. I feel like, and I bring this up, Jolene, because it feels very like we're a bunch of 8-year-olds. Well, you did it like this. Now I'm going to do it like this. And I'm like, no, let's actually do something revolutionary. All of us, Republicans, Democrats, liberals, conservatives, let's start acting like grown-ups and talking to each other. Remember that we're a democracy. Republicans tend to not like government as much. Democrats tend to want to give more money to people to help them out. Okay. Like, that's kind of where we started. And now we're like, you wronged me and you wronged me. I'm like, that is not democracy. I don't know what's happening here, but I feel like we're in this weird bubble of shame. And I want out.
Bubble of shame.
I want out. I want out of this Trump bubble of shame. I want out because now with this podcast, I'm so grateful for this podcast. I'm so grateful for you. I have gotten like the opportunity to speak to so many people that are different than me, and they actually aren't that different than me.
Yeah, right.
They actually like we get this new lens, which is so exciting that I just want to shout off on from the rooftops and say, hey, Republicans and Democrats. Actually, if you start talking to each other, you're going to find that most of us are like, oh, yeah, me too. Like, let's figure this out. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Okay, but we've got to fix it. And
yes,
that's the hard part.
Yes, we do.
I don't know. I mean, here,
do.
if we've got Paxton versus
Tellerico. I know. I mean, interesting is not even the word for it. I am a huge fan of Tellerico. So far, I don't, of course, know him. I love how he's conducted himself. And I'm concerned that it's going to be really impossible to not start pulling punches.
And we've already seen it. I mean, like I'm laughing at the last couple of days. Just this week has been his whole, is he vegan or is he a meat eater?
Oh my gosh.
Like, is this truly what we're doing?
Yeah.
Are we dissecting a couple of years ago when he said his campaign was, we are all vegan, we are non-meat eating campaign. And he said that when he was running for the state legislature in Texas.
Yeah, I don't know.
But now the Republicans are all taking that and going, he doesn't eat meat. And then he has to go out and show that he eats a turkey leg from the state fair. And you're like, I mean, is this
so
what we're doing?
Dumb.
Is this really what we're talking
It's
about here?
so dumb. Right? It's just so dumb. In summation of this completely I feel like bubble of shame. The bubble of shame
Is that the name of this podcast?
The bubble of shame episode.
Of shame.
Are we sort of in agreement right now?
We're in agreement that this was really, it's gone too far. Like he's theoretically, you could go, okay, I could see why maybe there's an idea out there that makes sense, but the actual implementation on his part is just so wackadoodle that even cooler heads in the Senate, if that's possible, are going, this is wackadoodle. So...
it's just interesting to me what is too far, because to me there's been a lot of things that he's done that is too far, and it hasn't been too far. But this is like, no. Everyone's like, whoa.
It'll be interesting now, I think, too, for me, and you and I have talked about this privately, that after the midterms, will people finally not feel like they're being bullied anymore, and they'll go, nope, I'm going to do things my way now. And I think we're kind of starting to see that with this pushback from the GOP senators on this issue. We're seeing people go, you're taking this a little too far. So I'm hoping that even after the midterms, they're like, dude, we're not beholden to you anymore.
Right. Well, I'm also wondering maybe this is what you're talking about, like those senators that have been primaried out. They're basically lame ducks, I guess. I mean, I guess they could get some stuff done by January. That's not nothing.
Till January.
That's,
right.
It's still 6-7 months. And maybe they're going to actually speak their minds. And so then what happens? Because what do they have to lose?
Right.
What do they have to lose? And that doesn't mean kumbaya with the Democrats, but it just means, hey, this is what I feel. And I'm really sick of having to keep my mouth shut about it.
And so maybe that gives some Democrats an opportunity to go to them and say, okay, hey, could you get behind this? Is there something that we could do together on this? Because,
Exactly.
Let's hope.
I think you need to do your would you rather.
You want me to go first?
You know what? I'm going to go first.
God,
Because it's my birthday, I'm going to go first. Listen.
It is your birthday.
Listen. Cranky Pants over here. It's actually not my birthday, but it's airing on my birthday. Okay, here we go. Would you rather never have to pay income tax again, or never have to worry about money again?
State or federal income tax?
All of it.
Okay, I'm just going to have to go never have to worry about money. Because I do think taxes, you do have to pay taxes. There are good stewards in the government that do good things with our taxes. So you still got to pay.
I agree.
As Jesus said, you still got to give Caesar what is Caesar's, but give God what is God's. So I'm like, yeah, you still got to pay your taxes.
What does that mean?
The Romans were trying to get Jesus to blaspheme, basically. And so they were saying, do you still need to pay taxes to Caesar? And everybody expected him to say, no, don't pay your taxes to Caesar. Don't give money to the Romans. And Jesus was like, no, you have to give to, whose picture is on the coin? And they're like, Caesar. And he goes, you got to give to Caesar what is Caesar's. But give to God, but just remember what's the most important thing. So yeah, you still got to pay your taxes, but just remember in the big picture of things that God is really your king and your ruler. And if there's anybody who disagrees with that interpretation,
I was like, your king.
I would love to hear it.
All right.
I know it.
All right.
God is king, yeah. You'd say pay your
Absolutely.
taxes.
Absolutely. I think, I don't know one person that really has never had to worry about money. And when you're having a really hard time, it's sort of all encompassing. Like it affects everything. It affects even your health. It can affect. So I think that would be
100%.
a real gift to not have to worry about money. And I am all for taxes. I think everyone should pay what I want it to be more fair. Mm-hmm. I'm all for make as much money as you can. Like, go for it. Right on. But I'd like you to pay your share. I pay my share.
Yeah.
That's all.
No.
That's all.
I agree.
All right, girl.
Completely agree with you.
Cool.
Oh my gosh, see, there's so much we could agree on.
So much.
Okay. Nicole.
Yes.
Would you rather always know the truth or always get what you want?
This is easy. Always know the truth.
Really?
I know. It's not like the sexy answer. I've always been built that way. Unfortunately, even as a little girl, I would know things that I shouldn't know.
Yeah.
It would feel like I have spidey sense. As I'm so sensitive, I'm such a sensitiva that if things didn't ring true, I felt it, and it was very confusing as a kid. It's still not necessarily not confusing as an adult, but it was definitely way more confusing as a kid. So yeah, I want to know the truth. Getting what I want. I mean, gosh, I think I feel incredibly lucky as a human being, and I really, for the most part, do get what I want. That being said, I think I learn incredible lessons when I don't get what I want.
Oh, gosh. You just changed my whole perspective on that.
There you go. That's what we've got to talk is about.
Oh, my God, that is so true.
Right?
Because my answer was, of course, I always want to get what I want.
But there's so many lessons. I mean, having chosen being an actor, you get punched in the face all the time. Not literally. But there's this sense of oh, I wanted that part or whatever, and I didn't get it. And then every time there's a lesson in there.
Yeah.
And then something else works,
true.
right? Because that doesn't mean that you never get what you want. You didn't say that. You're going to get
right. No, right.
And then there are times, whether it's a coping mechanism, it's there are moments you're when something works out, you're oh, that this is what was supposed to happen.
Right. And just dealing with professional stuff right now.
Yeah.
In my other business. You're right. You learn so much when things don't go.
Yeah.
And then you change and then you go, no, wait, I appreciate this so much more because I really had to work for it instead of it going just I hope we get this.
Right. Or sometimes you have to pivot in a way that you didn't know. Mm-hmm. And then then you're oh my gosh, this was the path.
Right.
And if
right,
this
right,
had if this hadn't worked out, if this had worked out, I wouldn't have known.
Yeah, but okay, I don't know that I want to know the truth. I don't really want to know if people don't like me, or if people think I'm ugly, or if people don't like my car, or
Your
if
car?
people think my landscaping is ugly.
Oh.
You know, I mean, like, I don't think I want to know.
But you're speaking of the truth being a negative thing.
Yeah.
It's not always. Here's some okay, we've got to talkers. We're going to get real corny. But since today is my birthday, here's the truth. I love you more today than I ever have.
That is the sweetest thing.
It's the truth.
I love you too. We are the
Right.
closest we've ever been in our 40 years of friendship. I agree.
Right? That's the truth.
Oh.
And I think you're beautiful, and I think you're funny, and I love your landscaping. And
You haven't seen it.
Okay,
You won't get to see it until you come see me.
Fine. I'm sure that and if
We changed the color of the mulch. You might not like it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I don't know.
All right. But that also just makes me sad when you say things like that. Not because you say things like that, because we all do. We all are really we just want to be loved. We really do. And I don't know if anyone's listening anymore. And if you are, I'm so thrilled you are. But
Thank you.
but really, I think maybe there's a lesson in that if you're listening and watching right now, that we all want to be liked.
Yeah.
We all want to be accepted. We all want you to think you're pretty, or whatever the thing is, or smart, or like my things. And in this world we're in, and in this current state of so many screens and so much disconnection, and so many people, spewing their hate on social media. And I think it's because they're feeling sad. Mm-hmm. Because
it's the only way to vent.
I guess.
Yeah.
And it's just, yeah.
God, I didn't know this question was so deep.
I didn't either. Listen.
Damn.
Slush funds, shame bubbles, and
wanting to be liked.
Yes, exactly.
Wow. And happy birthday!
Thank you. Thank you, listeners and viewers, for being on this road with us and listening to us. I mean, clearly we were a little bit excited because we got to be together today for the first time in a while. But thank you. And if you like what you hear, click on the thumbs up. Share it with a friend. Tell us what you think. DM us on Instagram or YouTube, or write us on we'vegottotalk.com. Any other thoughts, Jolene?
All those things.
Perfect. All right.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
We've Got to Talk is produced across the world by the wildly talented, creative, and hilarious team at Bambi Media. Our theme song is Jump Jive Swing by Space Train Unlimited. Thank you so much for listening, and join us every week for another episode of We've Got to Talk.